TripleTen community. Third time's the charm. Everybody who's joined before, you're going to hear the same spiel as before, but welcome back to our live stream. We're so excited that we can be talking to Jefferson today. He is currently on Sprint 9 of the software engineering program, and we're so excited to kind of hear a little bit more about his journey. So for everybody that was just in the live stream, thanks for bearing with us. Just connected with Jefferson offline. He's ready to go. He was just setting his phone up. So we will be taking questions from the audience. If anybody has questions about TripleTen, we do have 6 programs. So if anybody has questions about those 6 programs, we're really excited that we can answer them for you. And we're going to hear a little bit more about his personal TripleTen journey. So live stream today. So if anybody has questions, we're happy to jump in and get started. Hi, Jefferson. How are you?
Hi. Oh, I'm good. How about yourself? Good
Good.
morning.
We overcame those technical difficulties. I'm so glad that you could jump on today. Your
Right.
phone setup is fantastic.
Right.
We're so excited to get to know you.
I know. Oh my gosh, it's so cold today.
Freezing. I'm actually in Canada, and
Oh,
I
really?
was talking to a couple of my US colleagues, and they said it was minus 9 degrees Fahrenheit. I converted, it's currently minus 2 degrees, 22 degrees Fahrenheit where I am. So very, very cold, very chilly. But I heard that everybody's getting a cold front. But
Right, right.
let's jump right in. We're so excited to hear about your journey. Sprint 7 of the software engineering program. I'm going to hand it over to you to
Okay.
kind of introduce yourself, how you found TripleTen, and then kind
Right.
of a little bit about how you enrolled. So feel free to take it away.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jefferson, and I'm currently enrolled in TripleTen program for software engineer. Well, the way I found it was is pretty much like on advertisement, and as like normal people would do, you would just like glance over it and not pay attention to it. And then I think in some point or at some point, maybe like 3 months after, I kept getting the notifications and advertisement. It feels like it's reading my mind and whatnot. And currently, I was kind of, in a situation where should I keep my job right now or should I go to a different career, something more exciting, something more work-life imbalance. I've heard a lot of stories about software engineers, and I have actually have some few friends in San Francisco that does it, and they always enjoy their life, traveling and work or whatnot. And I often ask, like, how do you guys do it? Like, you guys always travel. Do you guys even work or whatnot? And then they just laugh it off. And then they tell me that, hey, we work in tech and this is this and this. It's a really lucrative industry and whatnot. And I just realized maybe it's something that I, have to take control. And that's why I searched for TripleTen and I jumped to the program and whatnot. And that's how the rest is history, basically.
The
Yeah.
rest is history. That's a
Yeah.
great view of who you are and how you found TripleTen. Thank you for sharing. Also, so cool that you have friends in software engineering too, so you can kind of get their perspective of like
Right.
the field you're in, etc. So what was your professional background before joining TripleTen, and what motivated you to switch from that profession to your current job, which is TripleTen at the moment?
Right. Of course. Yeah. So before TripleTen, I work as an HR accountant for a construction field. Um, it's a very tough career, to be honest, with too much overtime. Um, it's a very great company. It's very rewarding at most, but you have to think about, that you had to sacrifice something, to gain something. And I feel like my personal life is, I wouldn't say in jeopardy, but as you grow older and becoming, into a competitive adult, you get to realize that, hey, I'm missing a lot of fun. I've missed my youth, and I don't want to miss my adult life. And I see all my friends working in a tech company. They're very rewarding. They travel wherever they wanted to go or not. And here, I do make good money, but I had to sacrifice time to achieve that. And that's what, the one of the biggest or major decision that I've decided to go in tech is because of work and life balance. And it's it's crazy out there if you think about it, but at the end of the day you had to take the risk, and I'm actually glad that I did.
Definitely. That's so great to hear that you were excited that you did take the risk. And I know we all hit that point in our career where we're like, oh, my job is controlling my life. I need
All
to
right.
change it up, or maybe I'm not enjoying it as much as I am anymore. So very cool that you experienced that. And then we're like, you know what? I got to take control and switch my
Right,
career. It's time.
right.
So in our previous conversation offline, you had mentioned that you initially felt skeptical about boot camps, which I feel like a lot of people do. Boot camps tend
Right.
to get a bad rep depending on like where you're from. So what changed your mind, and how did you decide that TripleTen was the right fit for you?
Well, yeah, like most normal people, would tend to think about boot camp as, I would say, scam. Because that's what I thought. I was like, oh, it's a scam. There's no way. Because previously um I've went to college for computer engineer. This is before migrating in United States. And it was so crazy because as soon as I graduated with my bachelor degree, and it was 4 years actually that I had to invest time wise and all the stresses and teases that I had to do throughout the career. I've made it. It felt rewarding as soon as I get my diploma and whatnot, but um, I had to migrate over here due to personal reasons, and fresh outside the college, I was like, okay, I'm going to America. I'm gonna make a good life over there. It's basically the milk and honey, right? And then as soon as I came over here, the reality just kind of slapped me on the face. um it was back in 2012 when I was looking for a job, right? And I was like, okay, I have the bachelor degree, like everyone advertised when you go to college. Oh, as soon as you get off uh your college, you get a good job and yada yada yada. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. How you say it, there was no person or a mentor that gave me the real life experience to what would you expect in real life. And that's basically what I lacked. I tried numerous submission to like companies, tech companies. And back in the days, computer engineer is very lucrative. um, Everyone is looking to uh, make some hardware, those kind of stuff or whatnot. And I didn't get a job. The main reason why I didn't is because they told me I'm fresh from college with no experience. And in my head, like I think most people would understand. How can we get an experience if you don't give me one? you know. So I tried. I said, okay. One no would not break my wheel to take the risk again. So I apply. I've been getting constant no's and whatnot, and then at the end of the day I kind of like gave up. Okay, so I guess this is not for me. I just wasted 4 years in college, and I felt like my life kind of sunk in, because nobody wants to give me the opportunity, because I wouldn't be able to um tell them who I am, and let them know my skill wise, if no one's going to give me the opportunity to showcase that. And then kind of felt sad about it. But regardless, I think God had a different pathway. I was able to get an intern to an HR, which is so weird, from computer engineer to HR. The main reason why they decided to give me an intern is because of my computer skills, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's lucrative. Yeah, at the end of the day, I was able to do a tech, like an intern tech for human resource, and they liked my skills and my character. People don't really know you, and I understand. It's normal to kind of judge people, but character wise, I mean, I guess that's imperative for them as an employer, trying to find the right candidate. But if you have the good mindset, you can use that opportunity to kind of leverage yourself to showcase what you're capable of. And that's what I was able to show them, that hey, this person from the Philippines was able to make SOPs, good ideas and whatnot, and proposal. So why not give him a chance? And they gave me a chance, and that's where I was able to go in an accounting, which is completely different to my degree. Because accounting, you need to have a degree, right? So from computer engineer to accounting, that's how I got my experience in accounting. And then so and so forth, I was able to leverage throughout the years. And the crazy part, uh, there's in me that wanted to stay in tech, because there's a reason why I chose computer engineer, because I love games. I love rip, ripping my computer apart, trying to look for hardwares and whatnot, and it still hits me. So I decided to take the risk this time, and when I saw boot camp, I don't know about that, because 10 weeks really, that's surreal. And as I did my research, actually after 3 months, I did my research, and I was like, okay, so let me check. Maybe there's something in it, because advertisement is everywhere, and I see this people who came from TripleTen making six figures or sometimes seven figures, to be honest. And I was like, okay, maybe this is legit. So I did some research, more intense research, LinkedIn, Twitter's, Instagram, you named it. And I was like, okay, maybe it's time for me. It's a calling. And then I booked myself a call. I spoke to Adam. And then, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm like those normal people who have so many questions. I was on call for 3 hours with Adam, and going back and forth with emails too. And I understand, because you want to make sure that you are secured, because it's an investment. It's a time investment. Especially, I don't have the same leisure as I had when I was teenager, where I could just like invest my time so casually. Right now, time is really important for me. So I had to make some intense research, ask so many questions. Sometimes they're like the dumbest question you could ever hear of. But Adam was so professional. He was able to give me all those questions all straight. And I was like, sign me up.
And here you
Yeah,
are today. That is
right,
such a great story. Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like we really got a like in detail showcase of who you are and like where you came from and what like your career path
right,
looks like. I feel like a lot of people maybe can relate to that. So I would
right.
always recommend too, and I'm so glad that you did this and I'm so glad that you're telling us about this because
Appreciate it.
doing your research is so important, I think, for anyone
Right,
to make sure that like, hey, this is a good fit for me because
right,
and we tell people this, like we want to make sure that we are a good fit for you. Like is the time length a good fit, is the flexibility a good fit? Sometimes a 4-year college degree is a better fit, but both are great. It just is
mhm,
what suits
right.
you. Speaking of the 4-year college degree, because you did get a 4-year college degree and then you've done a two, which is very
Right,
cool because you can really compare the two.
right.
So how would you compare your previous computer engineering education, so in college, to the hands-on project-based approach at TripleTen? So what is the comparison between a boot camp and 4 years of college? Because I know everybody's so curious about that.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, let me just put everything on the table, the cons of having a college degree. Of course, if you go, college degree is a rewarding, experience. But for those people who have more time to invest, then go for it. But people who's on the situation such as me, who it's a case to case basis. Some people has family, some people has kids. I don't even have that, but in the future I wish, I would in the future, but now I think it's time for me to kind of set the bar for myself before starting a big family. And that's one of my main decisions to, make sure I have the proper work-life imbalance. But yeah, time wise, you had to invest a consistent amount of time. Some people they do it 5 years, and some people they do more, like with the interns and externs that they had to put into on top of 4 year degree. Another thing is, if you don't have the investment, like money wise, then you're gonna have to pull up student loan, which I think, most people won't really, be happy about, because the loans are excessive. They're insane amount of money that you had to put in. Plus, it's a 4 year college. You really have to be able to accommodate that. Plus, your personal life will be impeded or stagnant. You had to be constantly doing some theorized works or whatnot. Back when I was in college, we have so much theses and theoretical project that we had to do and approach. Just because computer engineering mainly focus on theory and hardwares like GPU, CPU, those kind of stuff. And Microsoft, they're big on computer engineers because they're more focused to hardwares and whatnot, right? And that's something that you had to do in college. Although it's not an extensive hands-on, it's more on a theoretical classroom. That's probably why sometimes I feel like it's a waste of time. That's just me because I came from a 4 year college, right? 2 years of the college will be more on to general education, where you bunch off different major and minor that you don't really need in your real life career. And then the other 2 years of college is more focused to what you're trying to achieve. The difference between that 4 year program to the boot camp is that you guys offer 10 weeks. People who has more time to invest will be able to do the 10 weeks. People like me, who's more focused on life work balance, don't let the pressure of 10 weeks program was that control you. The good thing about TripleTen that made me signed up is because that's actually one of the question I have for Adam. I was like, okay, 10 weeks, how's that possible? I've been in a 4 year program in college. How can you tell me 10 weeks is possible? So he kind of laid out the program, not in detail, but the timeline itself. And I was like, okay, that's actually doable, but what if you have emergencies, like personal emergency, or you never know, right? So you had to account of that. And then he told me, okay, you're not pressured to finish it in 10 weeks. 10 weeks is great if you have 100% of your time invested to it,
I'm just
right?
jump in here for a second. By 10 weeks, do you mean 10 months for software engineering?
My bad, my bad, my bad. 10 months. I keep
Yeah,
saying 10 weeks.
that's
My
okay. I
bad.
just wanted
Good
to,
thing you corrected me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
keep,
keep
yeah.
going.
It's, oh, you know what? It's so funny because I am so used to like doing sprints like every 2 weeks. You
Yeah,
know? So I kind of lost track about the months. Yeah, my bad.
no,
10 months,
that's
yeah.
okay. We actually have a
I
question.
mean, 10 months versus 4 years.
Yes.
Like, you can't beat that, right?
Oh, yes, because you learn so much in that time. We actually have a question in the chat about like studying and TripleTen. So somebody has actually asked, how many hours are you dedicating per day to your sprints? And you're talking about these 2 week
Oh,
sprints. So do you maybe just
yeah, sure. To be honest with you, my minimum is 3 hours, and that's my bare minimum. Because most of the classes are like, our lessons are hands on. They give you the overall theory about it, and after the theory, you practice it by doing hands-on, which I find it really impressive because it's think about it. You're given a book, right? And you had to read throughout the book. But how can you identify if the skill is something that you knew, or the skill is something that you'll be able to learn if you don't apply it, right? So what TripleTen had done is they give you the book for you to read, and then they give you questions if you understood the idea. After you understood the idea, then they give you the hands-on to kind of apply that idea. And after you completed the hands-on, you're like, oh my God, this is easy. Because it's kind of like teaching you how to cook and how to prep. And now that you know how to cook and how to prep, you do the hands-on, and voila, you have the dish right
That's
in front of you.
that is a great explanation of like an analogy of how TripleTen works. So thank you
All
for sharing.
right.
So I jump into a little bit more about TripleTen's program. So like the code reviews, community, or projects. So which of those or something outside of that has been most helpful in your learning process and why?
Oh, absolutely. For me specifically, is the code review. Some people may have a different, interpretation or different likes, but for me, I'm more towards the code review. The reason why is because coming from a 4-year program, right? Um, and I've come into realization that having an extensive experience wise is important to landing a job. That's basically the reason why I have not landed the job after I came from, computer engineering programs, because I didn't have that experience. I did had experience in the classroom, but hands-on wise, dealing with an actual company or real life situation, I had none on my resume. Which here, having a code review, kind of give you the not just the flexibility, but the leverage, amongst these candidates that came out fresh from the field. You have the um, how you say it, the skills that you can boast, to employer that, hey, I've done multiple projects that I can show you. I know how to code this. I know how to code that. Okay, so give me a problem, and I'll solve that problem in real time. And that's something that you'll be able to impress an employer, because, oh, okay, this is new, so I think that's really imperative. It gives you a constructive feedback when you're getting a code review, and that constructive feedback helps you better yourself. Uh, Not everyone are good at it, because even though I came from a computer engineer, coding is not my biggest strength. Uh, Remember, I came from a hardware and more of a theoretical, situation where coding is more of a different plate or a different
Mhm.
dish.
Yeah.
Um, Coming from a non-background, coding kind of helped me build that skills throughout the sprint. And I think that's really rewarding and exciting for me, because now I know how to look websites. I know how to navigate, and like not most people or normal people would know. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. That's so helpful. I hear there's a lot of people in the chat, kudos, and a lot of people are saying, you know
Thank
what,
you.
because they're so inspired by your journey. We actually have another question in the chat that really relates to this conversation. And thank you so
Mhm.
much for asking this. But somebody's asked, since you're halfway through the program, and are you beginning to apply for jobs yet within their career services? So where are you at? Because they're about halfway through. Are you joining career services? Are you just focused on the sprints right now? Like, can you explain a little bit more about that?
So I've been joining in career services. Even though I'm halfway on the sprint, I would highly recommend making connections. There are so many tech companies at LinkedIn. To be honest with you, it's so funny because I've made like few acquaintances on LinkedIn that works in a tech company, and been asking them questions like, hey, how much you're making. So really personal questions, how much you're making, how's the life balance? How's work wise, and how did you get the job, and those kind of stuff. Making connection is really imperative, just because it kind of, have your foot right in the door with these people. Because when, just for an instance, just to give you a really good analogy, let's say you wanted to go in a party, right? And it's like the bougie party in town. um, you wanted to go over there, but you don't know anyone that could invite you to that party because it's very exclusive, right? But let's pretend that you know someone in that party and that person invited you to that exclusive party, right? And now because you're invited, you get to chance to get to know more people, make your connection more broader or more bigger, or I don't know how you want to say it, but not whatnot. But it kind of gives you the leverage to know more people, and you never know, those people that you connect with will be able to give you a job or any other aspect that you may think of, because connection is really the key. um even my previous employers, to be honest with you, the intern the intern in the airport, it's actually in the airport. I was able to get the intern because my mom knows someone that works, in the airport. And I don't know what my mom did,
Yeah,
but
connections are
but it helped a lot.
yeah.
It helped
So
a lot.
are you currently like searching for jobs, or are you in the like are you starting career prep? Like where are you at? Have you started applying for jobs yet, or are you just still working on sprints? And obviously you're connecting with people, which is the first step, but
Right.
in terms of applying for jobs and career prep, have you started that at all currently?
I
Or
haven't I haven't started my well, how you say it? Oh, so what I did in my end, I started doing, because I have like a plan. The way, okay, so I do have like an OCD per se when it comes to tackling a specific goal. I don't just like rush through that goal. I need to have like plans like A, B, C, and D, for me to understand if I'll be able to succeed in this goal. um, every time I try to do a goal, I always have this mindset, the back of my head, that I need at least 99% success rate. And in order for me to do that is for me to lay out my steps. So my first step is get connected. And how are we able to connect with other people if everyone is pretty much on the social media? So what you need to do, create your social media, create your LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like Facebook for employers. So that's the number one thing. Once you created the LinkedIn, start connecting. I am very introvert. If it's so funny because I'm so engaged with you right now, but if you know me in person, I'm kind of like timid. It's just my personality. And I think that's the reason why I like tech industry, because I get to be myself when I code, right? But don't let that impede you when you're trying to connect with other people. They're the same as you. You guys are all on the same boat or the same ship. You guys had to take risk and just click add those people that interest you, right? Make connection, start saying hi, get acquainted with them. And then my second step is all the projects that you do on the sprint, um, keep all of them, review them again and redo them. But this time, don't do them based off the sprint wise. Do them like your own ideas. Let's say, they're so funny because during our first sprint, we had to do this website, right? Like a very common website, which I was like, oh my gosh, this is how a website was made. You can actually do a Pokemon, I don't know, a Pokemon page, but you don't want to do that because of, copyrights and whatnot. But just to kind of give you an idea, you can make your own ideas and then pitch in to the employer that it is yours, right? So that's the second step. Then the third step is create your how you say it, your script. how are you going to pitch in yourself to the employers? Just pretend you have an employer. Let's say your partner, can be the employer, and just do a mock-up interview and try to sell yourself.
Totally.
That's my third one, and then uh, the fourth one is really important. Um, just go out there and make the step, because regardless you do the first step, second step, and third step, if you're unmotivated to take a leap and do exercise all those steps that you had put in on your notes, then you won't be able to make it. Because I've seen a lot of students um along the line that they are so unmotivated because um the code can be hard, but at the end of the day, it didn't impede them, because we have amazing learning coach that pushes you, like, I know it's hard, but you got
Do
this.
it.
Right. I was on that boat. I was like, oh my god, this is hard. This is
And you,
I trust me, it's
yeah,
there's a reason why they're getting paid six figures
totally.
or seven figures.
Yeah.
Is
That
because
that is like really great career advice for anybody like jumping into tech. And even though you're not necessarily jumping into applying for jobs just yet, you sound like you're following that career coaches guidelines and even some of your own, which is really, really great advice. We're actually down to our last minute. So I'm going to ask one more question for you
right.
to end off the stream. So what advice or insights would you offer to somebody who's considering a career switch into tech or thinking about joining TripleTen?
Well, I would say my biggest advice that I could tell you, that that I also implemented in my life, is don't hold back. Don't let fear hold you back. Basically, don't let your stagnant in life or dream be all for nothing. The thing is, a lot of these people always had the chance to change their lives. The door is there in front of you, it's knocking, and if you don't open that door, then opportunity doesn't come out. Basically, my mom used to tell me, the door doesn't knock twice. If the door is there, open it, and once you enter it, many doors will open. It's the same thing when you let your fear hold you back from opening that door, because you never know, that door is probably your biggest life change. Maybe it's a big house, or a better stable financial state for your family and for yourself. And to be honest, I know, as an experience, that I was so skeptical doing it, and it took me 3 months to jump right through the program. But the program in TripleTen is really amazing. They have the best mentors out there, learning coach. I don't know if you guys sleep or whatnot, but I feel like you guys are always available 24/7. If you have questions, they're happy to, or more than happy to, help you with your questions. I'm going to put it out there, full transparency, because a lot of people out there wants transparency. I was that person that wants people to be transparent. I am not going to sugarcoat the program, but there is codes that are really hard. You will feel that you are completely drained, mentally drained, but that's actually okay. Because you know why? It's because real life situation, it will happen to you. And in accountant, being an accountant for years, it happened to me. I had to stay 11 hours just to send an invoice to a general contractor. But here's the thing: if I stopped right here and there, I could have, lost my job. But, I've tried my best to complete my job, my task, and I was able to, be rewarded with my hard work. Same thing with coding. Sometimes it'll feel you're mentally drained. It's so hard. I cannot do this or whatnot. That's fear talking to your head. Don't let that fear unmotivate you. There is a reason why there's so many good mentors or great mentors in TripleTen, and that's where their job comes in. Is for you to be pushed to the next sprint and eventually graduate. So, yeah, don't let your fear
That's
hold you back.
great advice. I feel like I'm like so inspired listening to you. I feel like you great
Really?
here. You have like such great analogies and stories to go along with it. So Jefferson, we would love to have you back on when you're finished the program and you're job
Yes.
seeking, and then more people can jump in and ask questions about like how the interview process is going, how you built your portfolio and your resume.
Right.
So great to talk to a student though that's halfway through the
Of
program for engineering. So thank
course.
you so much today.
No
We so
problem.
it. And I don't know if you've looked in the chat at all, but there's so many people being like, thank you so much. We can't wait to start with TripleTen. Your story is so inspiring. Good luck. So
Oh,
everybody,
thank you.
everybody is cheering you on. Lots of love in the
Oh, thank you guys. Trust me, I'm nervous.
you did such
I'm like, oh my God.
well, thank you everybody so much for joining today. If you do want to check out more about TripleTen, feel free to jump on our website or you can book a call with one of our admissions advisors. We will have more live streams like this, and Jefferson will be back on hopefully at the end of his time with TripleTen. So we will see him again. But other than that, everybody have a great day and have a great rest of your upcoming weekend, and we'll chat soon. Thanks so much.
Bye. Have a good one.